If you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody who does. Nothing wrong with learning from somebody. Go talk to the geeks. Most of them would be happy to show you what you should properly be doing. Just ask. One of the things we've got to be careful about, and this is coming up a lot, Facebook, MySpace, etc., the social networking sites are sometimes asking for your passwords. They're asking for your email information and your password information so they can link you up with more friends quickly. You see up in the upper right-hand corner where it says skip? That's the smartest thing you can do. Don't ever give your password out. I don't care if it says somewhere on there that they won't use it or store it. I don't care what they say. You need to protect it. Phishing. You've all heard of it. Most of you have probably gotten the Nigerian scam, or maybe you even got you hit the lottery in the UK. These are all great little phishing scams that sadly a lot of people still fall for. Well, phishing has moved off of strictly email, and now we're starting to see it in social networking sites. People are sending false information, standard phishing, but they're sending it through friends lists. You might get it from somebody who you believe is a friend, kind of like Brian Rutberg. Suddenly there's this request for whatever the case may be. So understand that that is happening not just in email, but it's also happening on social networking sites. Cross-site scripting. We're starting to see where this is happening, where you're being forced to friend somebody and you don't even know it. When they do this cross-site scripting, an adversary can turn around very easily and take the cookies, which is your login details, and then go in and change your security settings or take over your account. The Brian Rutberg story that we talked about, they believe this was how the adversary actually got in, was through cross-site scripting, got the cookies, the login details, and took over the account. So again, we've got to watch that there's a lot of stuff out there that the adversaries are using against us. A lot of people don't understand metadata. I didn't really understand metadata until I sat down with Jeremy Duffy, one of our other instructors, and he took me through it. Take this picture, for example. It's a picture. It says across the bottom, USS America, CV-66, in dry dock at Norfolk Naval Shipyard. Well, with a JPEG, or, with an address like that, or, the actual JPEG, that's pretty much puts it in a nutshell. But what if it just said USS America, CV-66, and you looked at this picture? If you're using a high-quality camera and you're taking pictures, a lot of times metadata is being copied as part of the JPEG. Also, with the new iPhones, because of the quality of the phone and the quality of the technology involved, and a lot of the Blackberries or the Bluetooth-enabled phones with the cell phones, because these are a bit more expensive, a little higher technology level, metadata is being stored as part of the JPEG. Well, here's the metadata you have to start looking for. It shows the GPS coordinates of where the picture was taken. If that picture just said USS America, CV-66, I pull up the metadata, I take the metadata off the GPS off the metadata, drop it into, Google Earth, and hit enter. Do you think it's going to come up and tell me that that's Norfolk Naval Shipyard? Yeah. What if the picture is you and your family in your backyard? Maybe you didn't want that information out there as far as where you live. Maybe you've been very careful to protect that. Now suddenly it's out there. Be careful of the metadata. You can turn that off in your JPEGs. You just need to go in and find out how. Again, this is not a briefing on how to do all that, but there's plenty of places out there to learn. The next step is risk. It's the impact on our lives. Think about the risk if the adversary gets our critical information, and realize they'll use any tactic necessary. They don't play it personal. They don't care. They will get a hold of your information any way they can. What could you lose? Well, think about your job, your reputation, money, time, maybe your sanity based on all the trouble you have to go through, maybe your personal security. if they get your information or change your information or post false information, think about the job you have right now. Would your boss or would your boss's boss be offended by some of the things that you posted? Or what if you hadn't posted it, but somebody hacked your account and got you in trouble by posting false information? Again, you've got to be careful about how that information gets moved around. Also, look at the fact that right now a lot of companies are looking at your social networking sites. They want to know the types of things that you're saying. If you have a security clearance, it's another concern. What types of things are you doing on the internet? Your organizations are looking at that. They're concerned about that. High school kids are being told to clean up their accounts, get a nice professional email address because you're going to be going to college. Now let's think about this. You're 17. You're sporting a 4.0. When you were 16 or in thereabouts, you cut loose a few times, got a little drunk and disorderly, maybe did something illegal, like maybe some drugs. You posted pictures of that up on the internet, up on your social networking site. And then you get ready to try to go to Notre Dame. Do you think Notre Dame's going to look for that? Do you think they're going to take a look to see what your social networking site looks like? I bet you they will. Because if I'm weighing out two 4.0s and I've got a pristine character on one side and somebody who's proving the point that they completely go against the law and are drinking illegally underage, doing illegal drugs, maybe they're not the people we want. You have to pay attention to that. You have to think like that. That comes from thinking like an adversary. You have risks, like you'll get something sent to you that says, check out this page, picture, or video, and it'll be a link. Unless you absolutely know who sent that to you, and they actually sent it to you, you can pick up a phone. You could send an email and ask, did you just send me something? That's allowed. That's smart. Because some of the things that we're seeing is they're downloading viruses, they're downloading all kinds of malware, they're downloading viruses, Trojans, you name it, it's being downloaded because people will click to see what it is. One of the things we're seeing regularly is when they're looking at videos, you'll download the video, or try to, and this will pop up. It'll say that you don't have the correct video driver to play this video, download here. Don't click it, close it. If you have a reasonably new computer, your software is probably fine to play almost any video. If you're not sure, then go out and search. Go out and look for it. Then you're going to the site looking for the software. Don't believe just because it pops up, they're downloading the video driver. In this case, they're not. They're downloading a virus. This is one that we've come across numerous times. But what's the risk to your organization? Well, I'll tell you first off, Amy is not employed at the 54th Squadron. We changed that for obvious reasons. But let's look at an organization that we looked at specifically. Amy listed who she's employed through. Bob stated he was shipping out on Friday. Carl said on his SNS site he was going to Iraq. Doug mentions the fact that he's a Special Forces team member. Earl has a whole bunch of photos with their people's names up on his site. GPS tagged and dated. Again, metadata gave me everything I needed to know. Fran gave us the information of the hotel she was staying at. This is common. If you can pick out the people of an organization, which is very easy to find in a lot of places, you start going through and looking for them through social networking and see what's being posted by them. It's an easy way to put it together. The risk is in your hands. And we say in OPSEC, if you work for the military, the base commander has to determine the level of risk that he or she is willing to accept. Well, you need to do the same thing for your social networking sites. It's yours. You aren't running this for the military. You aren't running this for your organization, your three-letter agency. You're doing this for personal. So the risk is in your hands. You need to determine what risk you're willing to accept, and you're going to have to look at that based on the information you're posting. Once you decide then it's time to apply countermeasures where they're needed. Okay, let's talk about countermeasures. They're measures that we use to protect our critical information. This is a way to keep information out of the hands of the adversary. Do you know what the best countermeasure is in the world? Keep your mouth shut. You don't have to post. You know what? You don't even have to have a social networking site. There's no law that says you have to have one. If there's no real value or no real gain by having one, don't set one up. That was hard. Think about the things you post. That's one of your best countermeasures. Actually using some common sense about the things you're posting and determining, I'm not willing to accept that risk. See, we said don't sign up. Look at the bottom. You see all those people off to the upper right hand, down on the ground on the upper right hand side of the roadway. And then you see all the bulls running. Well, consider those people that don't have a clue about what they're doing in social networking sites. Those bulls are the adversaries running you down day after day. The smart people have no risk. They're sitting above the fray. So if you don't really have a reason to join, why set one up? Don't get personal. When you do set them up, you know what? You don't have to use your real picture. You don't have to use your real name. Oh my God, it's true. You don't. There's no law. Don't have to. Use an alias. Use an avatar. An avatar is just a picture of something else. If you come across this avatar while you're running around the internet on social networking sites and you see that, you might be talking to me, because it's an avatar I use all the time. I also use these guys. You've seen them, the Muppets, Big Pimpin', the guy sitting up in the balcony. It's funny, so I use it. Because of OPSEC, everybody talks about the purple dragon, so I, of course, have a bunch of avatars of dragons. Use them all the time. And then, of course, if you know me at all, you know that I spend a little bit of time doing some dumpster diving. Well, Trash Cat is also one of my heroes, and I use them all the time. Now, for those of you that are offended, I did not shove my cat in a dumpster or in a trash can. I don't have a cat. I just found the picture on the internet, and it was funny. So don't get all in an uproar. Kitty's fine. Be careful in the other things that you post. Talk to your friends. If they're posting pictures of you and you're posting pictures of them, don't you think somebody should have said that's okay? A little common sense. If you don't want that information out about you and you find that your friends are posting pictures of you, you need to tell them to take it down. You need to make sure that your friends realize that you're posting stuff about them if that's the case. They should have the right to tell you, I don't want my picture up there. So again, be careful about that type of stuff. Careful of what's in your pictures. There's an awful lot of information in there. You can also remove the metadata as part of your pictures when you go up and take a look through standard photo editing software. I generally use one that I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to think you have to go out and get it. There's a lot out there. There's a lot that's free. Go out and do some research. Again, that's that whole lawyer thing where I've got to do disclaimers. If you take a picture and you're getting ready to post it, use OPSEC in mind. Be careful about the face shots, especially something where you can really determine who the person is. Think about the stuff that's in the background. I was given this brief not too many days back, and a gentleman was talking to me after I got done, and he was talking about his wife had set up a Facebook account. Her and a bunch of her girlfriends were sending stuff back and forth and going up on each other's walls, and it was nice, it was fun. And she was pretty good about being careful of things they posted. But then their daughter started kindergarten, and she posted a bunch of pictures of the first day of school, including pictures taken out in front of her house, where it had this house number, taken down at the end of the driveway where right behind her was the street name, the bus number when she got on the bus.